Well, I'm back out at Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge. I walked on the closer trails. I've been out to the estuary on the long boardwalk. So I did the shorter trails today. Since I have everything set up, we'll see if I can do another live stream. I'll give it a few minutes, see if anyone joins in. If not, I'll shut it down and go home and work on my videos. I was kind of disappointed. The trails were a lot shorter. There was one trail that looked like it took off from the Nisqually River Overlook trail, but it was blocked off. It was in a wildlife sensitive area, not allowing anyone in. But I'm at the Twin Barns Overlook, and behind me are the barns. I'll show whoever this is, I'll show them the barns. This is just one of the barns. There's another one that looks pretty much identical to this one. It's on the other side. But I'm going to sit back down and see if more people join in. I don't know who you are, but thanks for joining in, so I'm not talking to an empty live stream. Got a second person in, hopefully they'll stay. But thanks for joining in. I'm at the Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge. So it's the Fenster. Hey, how's it going? Out here at the Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge. Wanted to see what was the other trails other than the trail that goes out to the estuary, which is all the way over here. Now I got a third person. You know, I'm going to walk down this trail and we're going to go back to the Nisqually River Overlook trail. Not very far. Hopefully I won't lose signal, but let's see what happens. Get you to take a look at Nisqually River. This used to be a private farm back in the early 1900s, like 1904, and in the 1970s half of it was obtained by the Nisqually tribe, and then in the early 80s the other half was obtained by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and they made this refuge, a wildlife refuge. Billy Frank Jr. was a Nisqually tribe member that fought for treaty rights and this area to preserve it, because it in the 60s and in the 70s they wanted to make this area a deep water port. Fortunately, it was saved. And now it's a very nice place to go and commune with nature. This is my third visit out here. So far, the signal is very strong. I'm doing okay today. I've had better days, but I'm hanging in there. The tree people didn't show up like they said they would. They wanted to come out later, and I didn't want them to come out later. So there's the other barn, pretty much identical. I'm going to show you the Nisqually River here shortly. Provided that the signal is strong enough, I should be able to get to it this way. I hope everyone's having a good Thursday, whoever is here. But this is about 8 miles from my home. Signal is still holding up. But this place was named after Billy Frank, I think in 1985 by act of Congress. Unfortunately, Billy Frank Jr. did not survive to see this refuge renamed from the Nisqually Wildlife Refuge to the Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge. Oh, Wednesday. I'm retired. I can't remember what day it is. But we're going to come to the end of this boardwalk. We'll hang a left, and then it's a short walk to the river. You have to go out up that way. I did shoot a video while I was at the river earlier. About a half a mile from the parking lot. Need to go up that way. We're almost there. I'm not walking very fast. I've known about this area for a very long time. I remember when it used to be a privately owned working farm. You can see this place from I-5. You might even be able to hear kind of the roar of I-5 in the background. Oh, you love walks like this. That's good. Because the majority of my videos are walks like this. The signal's still good. Hey Josh, you made it in time for this live stream. There were certainly a lot of trolls on Vegas Don's live stream last night. That's the most I've seen in a long time. But we're at the Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge, and I'm on the Nisqually River Overlook Trail. It's not a very long trail. There's supposed to be a longer trail that goes next to the Nisqually River, but apparently it's closed off. It's supposed to be at the end of this trail, but it's not there. Missing me. Hello, how are you? Welcome in. I'm back at the Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge. We're going to take a look at the Nisqually River. I did all the long trails. The 2-mile trail out to the end of the boardwalk. I did that. I think I did that on the 14th. That's what I did on Valentine's Day. But off in the distance, you can kind of see the river right there. This comes from the Nisqually Delta, or not Delta, Nisqually Glacier on Mount Rainier, which maybe one day we'll go up to Paradise. I'll make a video there. But here we are, the Nisqually River. It was supposed to be a trail out this way, but certainly is closed off. Oh. But this is a nice place. Hope you enjoy just looking. If it wasn't for the freeway noise, it would be a very nice, quiet place. I've been to other places where it's just been really quiet. Like Tilton River State Park. The only thing you could hear there was the water going over the rocks. But it is supposed to rain later on today, so it says. I almost didn't come out because it was misting at my house. As I got closer to here, the misting stopped. You can see that there is some blue skies, but mainly gray. And it's in the mid 40s, not too bad. No wind. It'd be worse if there was wind. But no wind. But this is one of the places that's near my house. And there are salmon in this river. Oh, yeah. So, this trail will take me to the parking lot. Not going to go out to the delta. I've done that already. That I have to start like at 10 o'clock in the morning. It is a very long walk. It's a 4-mile round trip for me. But I haven't been down this trail. Let's see how well we do with the signal. Unless you guys want to see the barns. If you want to see the barns, let me know. Because if I turn left, oh, you can think about it. No, I'm going to fly to Vegas. There's the Siskiyou Mountains I would have to cross in Oregon, and it'd still be winter up there. Don't want to do that. Summer I might try to drive. I've driven it probably 5 times from my house. Always break it up into 2 or 3 days. My ex-wife and I would drive back and forth sometimes. Or I would fly down, park my car near the airport, fly down to Vegas, then we'd drive up. I used to own a house in Vegas. Up in Centennial Hills. Nice little house. Okay, barns or to the parking lot? Barns first or to the parking lot? You want to see the barns? Okay.
Baka swing go.
Hello. You can sort of see the barns through these trees. Sort of see them, but we'll get closer. We'll get closer here in a couple of minutes. And these are holding out pretty good. Last night I went out and walked approximately 1.5 miles, and these felt really good. When I mean really good, I mean I can tolerate the pain in my knees. I remember when this was a privately owned working farm. We did a lot of livestock out here. In 1904, someone bought, I don't know how many acres, this entire estuary, and put dikes up on it, kept the sound out, diked the river, drained the land, and they made it farmland, grazing land. Most of the dikes have been removed. But there's still a few which has trails on them. No, this is no longer an active farm. This is strictly wildlife refuge, mainly bird watching, but there are beavers, muskrat, mink out in areas like this, and they said there's also mammals, which I'm guessing are seals, maybe sea lions farther out. They like to munch on the salmon that come through here. Yeah, this is owned by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and it costs $3 to get in. But that's relatively cheap. I always give them 5. You basically have to stay on the boardwalks or the trails. Everything else is posted as a wildlife sanctuary, do not enter. Okay, down the steps. Down the steps, there we go. And also with the twin barns, they have twin outhouses. But there they are, Josh. The barns. No, it's pretty decent price. Let's see. Some of y'all didn't see that. Okay. that fork in the road. Left will take you out to the estuary, the boardwalks. Right will take you out to where we just were. Now we're going to go up to the Twin Barns overlook, where I started this live stream. So everyone who hasn't seen it, there goes the barns. Yeah, these are big barns. This must have been, you know, if you have barns like this in a farm, you know the farm was pretty successful because they had the money to build structures like this. There's a nice viewing platform up here. Sun is coming out, beautiful. I thought I'd be fighting rain on the way back to my car, but the sun is popping out every now and then. But out there's the estuary. Out here's the estuary. Can't see the boardwalk through those trees. And over here is a bird watching area. It's all wetlands, but in the summer, I would imagine there's no ponds out here. But if you look real carefully, you can see part of the boardwalk that goes out into the estuary straight ahead. I don't know if you can see it, if the magnification is great enough. Well, these have been pretty much untouched. Wind is picking up. They have cedar shingles on them. I'm going to sit down for a bit. They're calling for rain mixed with snow here this week, probably at night, because during the day it's going to get up to the 40s. Let's see. So we are right here. Right here, and we went over here, and see, there it says there's a longer trail, but couldn't get to it. And this is the trail. Oh no, that's just the border. What do we got here? I want to tell you the right stuff. No, it doesn't show the trails. But I saw bald eagles out here. When I was out here, I saw a bald eagle swoop down into the water and pull out a fish. I saw immature bald eagles. Yeah, this was a huge farm, and in the 60s and 70s there was a huge fight to make this a deep water port after the last farmer quit farming. That's Billy Frank fought against that, and so did a bunch of other ecology groups. And the groups won, and then half of it became the Nisqually Wildlife Refuge, and then in the 80s, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service got the other half of this area, and in 85 they renamed it to the Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge. He was a champion of the ecology and also treaty rights. All this land was, of course, I mean, every place that I've been didn't belong, but Native Americans used it for thousands of years. And it wasn't until Europeans came here that there was this sense of private ownership. And in I think it's 1855 or 1854, there was this massive treaty that the Native American tribes were kind of forced to sign, which they gave up the land that they used to use to hunt on, forage on, live on, and were forced to move to reservations. The Cowlitz tribe refused to sign. They went their own way, and it took them over 100 years for the U.S. government to recognize the Cowlitz tribe as an official tribe. They had to endure a lot of injustices. They were left out of a lot of so-called agreements. All of the agreements were broken, but they stayed together as a tribe, and 100 years later they were officially recognized as a tribe. Yeah, I like the spring would be nice, but I also like coming out this time of year because the crowds are down. There have been some parks, large parks, that I've been the only person in. I do have to endure restrooms and things like that being closed. And I have to be really careful. Don't want to injure myself in a park that is closed, and I'm not closed, but on winter hours, and I'm the only one there. But this would look very nice with leaves on the trees and the underbrush green. I may have to do that. This place is really close to my house, considering that there's some places where it's taken me an hour and a half to drive there. So I'm going to start the walk back to my car. We'll see how well this live stream holds up. So we'll go down the trail that I haven't been down before to get to the parking lot. See how that holds up. There's another trail that runs parallel to that where it works really well. But we'll find out. Oh, Crooked River, welcome in. Haven't seen you around in a while. But we're at the Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge, about 8 miles from my house. And we were at the Twin Barns Loop Trail. Oh, interesting. So, Alson Brown purchased the land for the farm and built dikes in 1904. In 1918, he ran out of money and the banks foreclosed on him, and he sells most of his land to Robert Olden. Higher dikes were built in 1925. And in 1929, Olden's supply of winter hay spontaneously combusted, and it destroyed the hay barn, cow barn, and creamery. In 1932, the present twin barns were built. In 1949, an earthquake hit this area. And between I guess he said the land was rolling like waves on a bay, and there's water spouts shooting out of the ground 5 to 6 feet high. And from 1951 to 1968, the Brown farm rented to local dairy farmers. The farm could accommodate up to 1,000 head. And in 1968, the unprofitable Brown barn was put up for sale. A superport facility was proposed for the site. And then in 1974, the Nisqually Delta Association and Fish and Wildlife Service purchased 1,290 acres of the Browns farm for $1.75 million. And that created the Nisqually National Wildlife Refuge. History doesn't go beyond that, but in the 1980s, the rest of the land was purchased and it was changed to the Billy Frank Jr. Wildlife Refuge. For those of you that hadn't seen these, there are the barns. I'm going to walk down this boardwalk and finish walking to the parking lot. And then I'll head home. Walk down a trail that I haven't walked down. I've walked down that trail. That's kind of like the main trail. Non-boardwalk trail. And the trail I haven't walked down is up this way, which I don't mind doing for you guys, since you're taking your time on Wednesday to join me on this live stream. Might as well make it a good tour. But this, I've walked down this trail before to the parking lot. So we're going to walk down this trail. See how the signal holds up. I'm glad. I don't know how, I don't get a lot of views on my videos, which I don't really care. I put them out there. I enjoy doing it. I like marking my time on the earth. I'll leave something behind. But the videos that I get a lot of views on, I did a couple of videos in this place called Insert Coin. It's an arcade. I got 676 views on one of the videos and 400 and something views on the other one. I did another arcade. I got many views on that. My videos in stores and walking around Olympia, I get many views on that. Way more views than my nature walks. Yeah, it was windy and cold in Vegas last night. If you look on my earlier videos, I think maybe on the 11th of February of Billy Frank, I'll show you the Olympic Mountains, and they were covered in snow, and also Mount Rainier. It's a dormant volcano, still active. Steam comes out of it. But that had a bunch of snow on it too. It stays snow covered year round, whereas the Olympics will probably lose most of their snow, if not all of it, by August. Okay. Ooh, a bench up there. We're on one of the dikes now. I was going to walk down the boardwalk, but then I saw this bench up here. So my knees are getting a little tired. Bench. Nonetheless, here we go. I'll sit here for a little bit. I'm probably, if I stayed on that gravel trail, probably a quarter mile to the parking lot. It is clouding up on me, so I do need to get to the parking lot. Sun has gone away. Yeah, I heard something about YouTube going down. Maybe that's why I was having trouble with it on my phone. It worked on my computer, but it wouldn't work on my phone. Well, there's some sun over there I can see, kind of light. Signal is still holding real good. Hope you're still enjoying the scenery. That's what I also worry about when I make these videos of nature. A lot of it looks the same. You know, walking in wood-covered areas, tree-covered areas near the water. I do see the roof of the visitor station. I'm trying to build up my endurance for Las Vegas too by doing these walks. There's a quarter-mile stretch near my house that I can walk up and down it 4 times, and it'll be about a mile. Visitor center is that way, but I'm going to have to go. Ooh. Let's see if we can get it without scaring it. saw a deer. There it is. Where is it? There it is. There it is. I've seen deer before, and this is the second time I've been able to get one. First time on the live stream. Hopefully it won't attack me. Seems like it's used to people. It just walked right by me, didn't run off into the woods. Never know what you're going to see. I but I came across about 8 deer in this one place. 2 of the younger ones were frolicking around, but I moved from my camera, my phone, and as soon as I did that, I was in my car, but I was about 10 feet from them. As soon as I moved for my phone, they were gone. That deer was like 10 feet away from me. I mean, less than that. Here's the trail. The deer was right over there, right on the edge. And that's probably 8 foot. I walked 8 foot next to the deer. You're talking to Josh. I'm nowhere near Summerlin. Let's see. This must be taking me to the second parking lot. I'm going to go on that trail there. Straight ahead is closed. My knees are getting tired. And that just looks like to go out to an overlook or a loop. In for a penny, in for a pound. Not a loop. This goes to a lookout. Well, let's see where this lookout goes to. Like I said, I'm retired. I don't have anything going on. But you can really hear the freeway noise now. This might be McAllister Creek right here. Not that scenic, really muddy. I imagine this place would be a little more scenic if the water was higher and there was, yeah, definitely water higher. This doesn't look nice at all. And if this was more green, but back I go. I think I've done every trail in here now. Once I complete this trail, there's a mucky creek again. Okay, they're obviously growing something in these tubes. I imagine the deers like to munch on them. I also like how the ferns come up. I've been to places where hillsides are just covered with ferns. There's the visitor center up that way. See you later, Crooked. Thanks for joining in. Down to 3. There's a house over there. Someone lives over there. Maybe some of the staff. It looks like there might be another barn over there. Oh, there's a deer back there too. Right over there. Oh, there's the parking lot. Oh, that's the education center over there. That's the education center. Through here, wherever. Yeah, I think I walked all the trails. Back on concrete. Signal was great. It's always 6,000. Visitor Center. This is where I'm going to end it. I appreciate all the company I had. on the way back. Got to show you some things. Got to go down some trails I've never been down. You're welcome. I enjoy doing this. I like live streaming. But I'll see you guys later. Maybe see some of you tonight if Vegas Unlocked goes on their strip walk tonight. But have a good day. You guys have a good... I'll try to have a good day too. I'll see you all later. Bye, Missy Me. Bye, Josh. Whoever the third person is, bye to them. But see you all around.